The Amora Lex story, let's get into it because I was in her shoes about 8 months ago when I came to TikTok asking if anybody knew what would be the best options or the best route for me to go if I wanted to place my children in foster care or, a situation like that.
Amora Lex gave off her kids to CPS. Two children, she gave them up to CPS. CPS, they are the ones that take your children from you if you don't want them anymore. Of course, probably they'll give it out to families that are interested in children. But then people on the internet are coming for her that why would she do that? Why would she give up her children just like that? Because even people that CPS take their children from them, they cry. You see mothers on the internet crying and be like, oh, CPS has taken my children, I see those videos. But now a mother willingly went to CPS to drop her children off. Like she said she's done, she can't take care of them anymore. She doesn't have the finances to take care of them anymore. She wants to focus on her studies and all of that. And people on the internet are like, some are judging her, some are like, people are supposed to be there for her. You're supposed to have a village around you when you have your children or something. What is your take? Are you a mom? Have you felt frustrated at a point that you felt like taking out your child to CPS? Has it happened to you before? Even some people that are complaining, some people are even coming for them and saying that you are not a mother. You cannot understand the pain she was going through. So do not judge her. What is your take on those statements? Because a lot of talk, a lot of conversations are going on this matter. And I put up some videos for us to watch, people dropping their 2 cents. I also love to hear your thoughts about this whole drama, because to me, I feel like drama is kind of sensitive, but then everybody with what they want to do with their lives, to be honest. Anyways, I'll share my own thoughts at the end of the video, of course. Let's go ahead and watch what other people have to say, and yeah, I'll see you at the end of the video.
Now, I'm watching the Amora Lex, I think her name is a woman who gave her children up to CPS, right? It's going around slowly but surely, but I'm sure it'll catch fire and it'll catch wind and it'll start like a lot more thinking and talking pieces. But one thing I want people to consider is when you're at your wit's end and you have no support, you'll do things that you never thought you would do. She goes on and she tells us that she's got three children by 3 different men, and the men don't do anything for their children, right? Now, I don't know, she said, I don't know details of her situation, but it was the gist of she hasn't been able to get any help from the government, from them, from a community or anything, so she felt like she needed to surrender her kids to CPS. Now, we know what CPS does to kids, but it's not all bad, and maybe, and this is my take, maybe they do get a family that can take care of them more instead of being with a mom that's frustrated and angry and just bitter that she ended up with 3 other responsibilities than herself, right? And if she's going through postpartum, and I'm not excusing the behavior, I'm just trying to make you understand the facts of what happens and the emotions of what happens when women are stuck with children that they didn't count on making. And I'm not taking away accountability, because we let you put it in raw, right? We did. That shit was amazing. But at the same time, I want to introduce education and science. Like, menstruation and ovulation is not always the same. And the way women go through PCOS and all these other things, you don't know when conception has occurred, right? And then with the law, government, the rollback of Roe v. Wade, we're going to see a lot more of this happening because it is hard. It is hard out here. My rent just went up and I'm still the only single breadwinner. But I've always had my place. Always. Thank fuck in God and my universe. Because I swear to God, there has been times where I was just like, bitch, what the fuck? But I'm saying all that to say that the pressures of being a woman in this society, and moreover a mother to this, for children, and to the society, and to your friendship, and not getting the acknowledgement or the help or the feedback or the care that you need, it does make us delirious, stir crazy, okay? When we don't have anyone to refill our cup, it's hard. And I know y'all want to think that we're all strong, mighty, but we got to carry all you motherfuckers, all of you simple motherfuckers. We got to carry y'all on our back with no recognition, and that's okay. That's not okay. So I'm not saying that what she did was right, but it was right for her. And y'all got to remove judgment because it's not your situation. You don't know how she felt, and you need to allow her to feel how she feels wholly and thoroughly. Amora can do whatever she feels, but you know what? She did the right thing instead of running them babies off the side of the highway, throwing them out the window, on the highway, over the bridge, in a lake. It's A. Because they'll grow up and they'll have a story of a family that was able to love them, or a group home that wasn't toxic. I just want you to see the beauty that can come from this situation, and a mother who could heal. Possibly allow her to heal. Allow her to heal in whatever way she may feel that she needs to heal without judgment, because it's none of our business. Educate her on how to get better resources, because if she wants to visit her kids like she says she is, drop off gifts and love on them, sometimes that's a mother who did what she had to do, not what she wanted to do. Okay? And grief can come in all different types of emotions. Sometimes it's violence, sometimes it's laughing, drinking. We all got our vices, but I'm just saying, remove yourself from judgment and understand that it's hard out here for everyone. And just because you think she might have gotten it easier doesn't mean she felt that she had it easier. You know? That's all I'm saying. This video is 6 minutes long, but I just wanted to, before you throw your stone and hide your hand, raise your hand and acknowledge the part that you play in this woman's health and well-being. That's all.
So Amora Lex, the girl who recorded herself giving her kids over to CPS because she felt overwhelmed and she couldn't take care of them anymore, she's now doing radio interviews. I saw a video of her being interviewed at a radio station. And my thoughts are, a lot of people are recording themselves doing things to go viral and to become famous. And I was initially taken up for her because as a mom of one, and I work, and I'm married, I be tired. And I always say to myself, damn, I don't know how people do it with multiple kids. There are so many women who are taking care of kids by themselves that they are overwhelmed, overworked, exhausted, dealing with mental health issues where they have no one else to call but CPS. But now I'm starting to side-eye Miss Amora because you said you had needed time to study and stuff, but now you're at a radio station being interviewed and on live. I'm not sure if this is genuine now, y'all. Does she really need help? Like, please let me know. How do y'all feel about this?
The Amora Lex story, let's get into it, because I was in her shoes about 8 months ago when I came to TikTok asking if anybody knew what would be the best options or the best route for me to go if I wanted to place my children in foster care or, you know, a situation like that. I got a lot of backlash. Like, I was all over Twitter. I was all over TikTok. I was all over Instagram. I was all over fucking Facebook. And people had their opinions. But one thing I do know for sure, nobody who had an opinion could tell me what I was or wasn't doing enough of in order to prevent me feeling like I needed to place my children in foster care or CPS. You feel me? Like, the outcry was so loud and nobody listened to me. Some of us aren't blessed to have family members, not even one family member that will take on our children, right? That will take on our children full time, not ask for anything in return, and be okay. Allow us to go get ourselves together and come back with a plan, with stability, with a foundation, right? And I get it. A lot of y'all won't understand why a mother could take her children to a fire station or to the system and leave them after carrying them for 9 months. You think that's a choice we want to make? Like, y'all anger me so bad on this app with y'all judgmental asses. Because when a woman asks for help, y'all tear her down, and I hate it. Y'all tore me down, and all I was asking for was support. Support that I wasn't getting from family, that I wasn't getting from friends, that I wasn't getting from the government, nobody. So what do y'all expect us to do? The fathers are blatantly telling us that they're not going to do nothing. First and foremost, let's hold the deadbeat fathers accountable first before we try to bash a mother who has her back against the wall. A lot of us right now have our back against the wall, and we should not be judging. Especially if you're a mother who got kids, more than 2. You should never judge a mother for her actions when it comes to her thinking and believing that placing her kids in the care of someone else. Yeah, we know CPS and all this have their faults. But what's the alternative? It's not like our government and our world and our cities is giving us an alternative option. Actually, in fact, they telling us when we get pregnant, we cannot go for abortion if we so choose.
Hey y'all, I'm so tired, but I had to give this video or do a video because I just saw a follow-up from a TikTok that I watched last night, and that video was so heartbreaking. It was a young woman, black woman. She couldn't have been more than 30. I'm gonna give her, you know, like late 20s. And she allowed us, or she recorded her leaving her kids basically at the fire station, and then what transpired from that. So going to, I think she ended up having to go to the police department. Her children were picked up. She followed the police car to the police department, and then there she was interviewed. Her children were interviewed, and it was just the process of saying, I can't take care of my kids. Her reasoning was basically for the sake of like her own health. She said she just can't do it anymore. Like, she needs help. She needs to get on her feet. Their fathers are not involved. I'm gonna say plural, but I'm not really sure. I know it's 3 kids. It also leads me to believe that maybe her parents or whoever else, maybe she burned some bridges. Maybe they're not alive. Maybe they just, I don't know, aren't helpful. Whatever it is. But y'all should go and watch it. But I want to give my take on it. So I cried watching the video. It was painful. And in the beginnings of it, it gave me the impression like, okay, what do I need to do so we can go and wrap this up and I can move on? But as she started inquiring more about like what happens after this, from can I, you know, bring them their clothes? I have clothes for them. Am I going to be able to see them again? Can I still provide for them in some kind of way? Can I give them gifts for their birthdays and stuff? And she's like crying, and it seems very sincere. But you know, you're seeing comments and some, you know, people saying I could never, or whatever. And I am a very opinionated person. I would not say I'm judgmental, but I will say that I always have a thought. I don't think anyone is really far removed from doing like the worst thing that they could possibly do. The one thing that they said that they would never do. I feel like we are all one moment away from doing some stuff. You know, the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, I know being a mother, I know watching my daughter being a mother, which is a product of me, watching her raise her children, knowing that I was her influence, I was her nurturer, I was her teacher. We all have to take some type of responsibility as a society on the pressure, on the relief, the good, the bad, and the ugly, basically. And with my daughter, with my first child, the things that I was going through, I didn't even want to live anymore. I contemplated my life. Like, this is the day. I'm sick of this, right? And I know that if I was capable of taking my life, or desperately or really wanted to just end it, I know that I am capable of taking my children to the fire station. And we joke as a community about stuff like that, so it's not funny, but this is how we get through our pain. A lot of children can be overwhelming to their parents. Children can be overwhelming to their parents. And if you don't have resources, if you don't have help, if you have your set of friends who aren't trying to just be a friend, because I'm not going to say try to take your responsibility, but be a friend and help their friend in some kind of a way. Help. Let me come over and just hang out with you. Let me play with your kids in the backyard. Let me take you out for a few minutes, or whatever. Because a part of friendship is to not be selfish and to possibly do some things that maybe you don't have kids. I don't have kids. You don't have to have kids to want to relieve your friend. But anyway, I don't know her circle. I don't know whatever. And I know that a lot of us, we have our own cross to bear, and we have our own responsibilities, and some of us got it made, but some of us are just honestly very shallow and selfish, and it really just downgrades the community, the purpose of human interaction, and having a society of people that can help one another. But then we want to say harmful things to one another, like, girl, I could never, and why would you do that? And so, and I just think that it does more harm than good. And I also think that people are in denial about what they would do if they're in a particular situation. Meaning, maybe you could never take your kids to the fire station, right? Maybe you can never imagine doing that. But why? Why is that? Why is it that you could never imagine yourself doing it? Is it because you have resources? Is it because you don't really have a lot of financial constraints? Is it because you have a spouse or a mate, or the other parent is more involved? Is it because you have your grandparents, your parents? Is it because you have a flexible job? Like, make the shit make sense. Because if you're not actually in that person's shoes, if you didn't have the upbringing as somebody, if you didn't have the trauma, like, maybe you can't relate. But I feel like empathy will take someone a long way. Why don't you just use your imagination? And then you could probably come up with, oh yeah,
I think I could do that. I could see myself doing that. This woman said, I cannot do this anymore. And the same people that claim they could never leave their kids is the same people that can't leave a nigga that's whooping their ass. Okay? So some people stay in situations that are very unhealthy, that are harmful, that they 1 second from killing everybody simply because they just don't have the courage to leave. They don't have the courage to do what she did. And I'm not condoning it. I'm saying just because somebody is walking away from a situation does not mean they're a bad person. And then let's be clear, it's a lot of men. There are more men that walk away from their families, from their children. Oh, they good, they with their mama. Oh, nah, I ain't talked to them in a week. Nah, I ain't sent no money over there. Nah, me and the mama ain't together no more. But you got kids. You literally got a legacy. You literally got kids around here that look just like you. And as a community, as a culture, we've accepted the fact that men walk away. Yeah. Men move on. Men go to other women and they have even more children. And sometimes that don't even work out. Just because you claim your children don't make you a good father. It doesn't make you an active father. Just because you go into a game once a week don't make you a good parent, an active parent. We're talking about the daily responsibility, the struggle, I've been working all day and now I'm sitting in my driveway trying to figure out when do I have the energy to walk into that house and be called mom for the next 4 hours till they go to sleep. You know, diapers and runny noses and cooking dinner, and I'm not hungry. I just want to go to sleep, but I know they hungry. And we have to help each other. Children should not be burdens, but let's just keep it real. Children come with a lot of responsibility, and a lot of responsibility that we were not equipped for. And I don't mean that in a way you got pregnant as a teenager. It's some grown ass people out here who don't have the mental capacity to deal with their responsibilities. And then you got other things going on that make that even more difficult. So homegirl, now she's on the internet, this young lady, and the latest thing that she's posted was, I'm outside, y'all. And people were telling her, this girl just giving up these kids to be outside. And so what? It don't make it right. It don't make it wrong, but it make it what it is. If she sent them kids away so she can be outside, that's what she did. Because it's a whole bunch of us parents who send our kids away for the weekend. It's a whole bunch of us parents that send our kids away for the summer. It's a whole bunch of parents who decide they don't want to be in that household, that relationship no more, and they may come back in a year or in a few years. It's a whole bunch of us parents that give our kids to our parents because we feel like that's your responsibility. I can't deal with it, so I'm gonna give them to you. So for this girl to take her children safely, I'm hoping, to CPS, and I know how corrupt the system is, but I also know how corrupt your own personal household can be. But anyway, because she took them there and now she's saying she outside, which again, this is just my opinion. I don't know if I would have been able to be public about it, but she public about it. She say she outside. She say she ready to go to the gym and she looking for a partner who want to go work out with me. I could take that a whole bunch of ways. At least she doing what she say she gonna do. She trying to get healthy. She trying to get her life together. So I encourage y'all to go watch the video. It's painful to watch, but it's also an amazing human experience. It's an opportunity to realize where we are. Not to say that she's the first one, but I would not be surprised if we see more and more and more and more and more of this. Simply because the more we move away from one another, the more that we no longer have like that black community that we were actually like forced to live in, the more that we want to, I'm gonna go to this state and I'm gonna go out of state, and I'm running from that small town I lived in because, you know, it was some trauma, some tragedies or whatever. The more we spread out, the less that we have one another. The more we spread out, the less we have parents and grandparents that can intervene, and aunties and uncles and cousins and childhood friends. The more we move out, the less we have that. I remember when Niecy and Dee were looking for their house, and I was bent. I wanted them to stay close to us so bad, but they wanted to leave. They didn't want to be in the same school district and what. And I get it, but at the same time, these are the things that happen. Not to try to make nobody feel bad about moving away, but these are the things that happen. We become numb to helping each other. We don't think about helping one another anymore. Back in the day, the neighborhood watched us. The police knew me, the fire station knew me, the mail people knew me. I'm running the streets like a little raggedy child who ain't got no place to live, no food to eat, and everybody knew me. But we don't have that no more. So anyway, I'm praying and I'm hoping and I'm wishing that these children don't get into the system and be hurt any further. If they've been hurt at all, I don't know. I wish them healing, because I know it's painful, you know, for your mom to walk away and whatever. But I think that we've seen enough tragedies where people kill their whole family, where people are homeless and really can't put food in because of pride or whatever. We make these choices because of peer pressure, because of pride, all kinds of reasons. And I'm just gonna wish them the best, and I hope that they can come back together, or I hope if somebody else can give them a better upbringing so that they can be better people out here in this world, so that they can live a good life. If they can get that somewhere else, I'm just gonna wish them the best. But go watch the video and then think about your own people. I hope it inspires us to just really lean towards one another and help one another more. Let's get something good out of it. That's it. Y'all have a good one.
The fact that y'all really platformed the most outlandish stuff is crazy to me. Why on earth are y'all interviewing that lady who gave up her 5 kids? For what reason is she being booked? Now, I will say though, her giving up her kids to CPS, she did what people would be saying to do if she did hurt or harm her kids. Let's be very, very clear. In this day and age, a lot of the times you're having to protect kids from their parents. One thing to protect kids from the outside world, but the way that parents are harming their kids these days is just crazy. So her giving up her kids to CPS, I'm not going to go too hard on that. But for what reason is she being interviewed? For what reason? If she needs help, then why are y'all not getting her help? Why are y'all putting her on a platform to interview her? Interview the kids. She has 5 kids. After the first and second kid, I feel like you get a feel for motherhood. You get a feel for who's there for you. You get a feel for who your village is. And let's be clear, let's stop right there. A village is a blessing. It is not an obligation. Nobody besides you and the person that you chose to lay down with is obligated to take care of your kids. That's one. But back to that. After the first and second kid, you realize, exactly, you get a feel for motherhood. So to get a feel for motherhood and then to continue to have kids and to get to 5 kids, that means you were just neglectful. That means that you just were more so in your feelings and your emotions and doing what feels good. Because babies do not ask to be here. Kids do not ask to be here. And speaking of the other person who's obligated to take care of these kids is the daddy. Where the daddy at? And also, are we taking our emotions out of things and we asking ourselves, take ourselves out of it? Take your emotions out of it. Take how your relationship went out of it. Is this a good dad? Is this a good parent? Does he love your kids? Does he respect your kids? Can he take care of your kids? Take that out of it before you go on to, because it's I'm not gonna lie. After watching a couple of that lady videos, she is very emotional. I didn't see the logic. I don't see the logic in anything. So I don't know. Back to what I was saying though. I don't get why she's being interviewed. I don't care to know how she feel. I would love to know how the kids feel. Like, and I know y'all probably gonna be like, oh my God, you lack compassion. It gets overwhelming. I get it. I'm a mother of two. But best believe I literally had a conversation with myself. Baby, I'm not having no more kids because I gotta feel for motherhood. I know exactly what I can handle, and my two is all I can. I don't see me getting to 5 kids ever, because I know who my village is. I know that what I can handle as a mother. And motherhood is hard. It's not all peaches and cream. It's not. And you realize that after the first 2 kids, you realize that motherhood is not just fairy tale with cute clothes and going shopping all day. It is not that. It's so much more to being a mother. So yeah, I'm not understanding why we're putting this lady on a pedestal as if she did something like brave. Like,
I want to talk about the Aurora Lee situation, and when I say I want to talk about it, I really don't want to talk about it, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. First, if you're new here, I'm attorney Farron Whitaker, and I'm an attorney licensed in the state of Texas. And on this page, I try not to get too personal, and I try not to get too emotional, so I do want to start off by getting into some legal advice. If you are in a situation where you feel like you are physically or emotionally or financially unable to take care of your children, and you have exhausted all options, you have asked their other parent to help you, and they just cannot or will not, or they're not alive, or they're incarcerated, whatever the reason, there's a form I want to tell you about. It's called the Authorization Agreement for Voluntary Adult Caregivers. Now, you can only use this form if you live in Texas. I'm going to link the form in the comments, okay? Please do not purchase this form. Do not use some other form. This is the official form. This form allows for you to leave your children with someone other than the other parent. It can be a neighbor, your sister, your brother, their grandparent, their godparent, whoever. If you are leaving the children voluntarily with another adult, you can fill out this form, and it'll allow them to make decisions for the child, like enroll the child in school and take the child to the doctor, authorize care for the child, and things of that nature. Now, this form is designed to help both parties, both the parent that's giving the authorization and the adult caregiver that's taking over the caretaking of the child. One, because it is temporary. It lays out that this is only effective for 180 days, meaning that person cannot take custody of your children. It's not permanent. It implies that both people signing know and understand that the parent will be coming back for the child. It's not them giving up the child or giving up custody. Number 2, it helps the caregiver because it outlines the things that the caregiver is legally authorized to do for and with the child. Now, some things you need to know about this form. It only needs to be filled out by one parent. It does not have to be filled out by both parents, although both parents can fill out the form if they want to. If the other parent has some type of court order, it doesn't matter if it's not in the state of Texas, if they have a court order anywhere in this world that says they have rights to that child that you're voluntarily letting someone else take over care for temporarily, then they must receive a copy of the form. They do not have to sign it, but they must receive a copy of it. If there is no court order, meaning nowhere in this world there is no order saying this person's on child support, this person gets a visitation, nowhere in this world, right? If that does not exist, then you don't have to send them a copy of the form. Again, I want to emphasize that this form is for anyone, okay? As long as it's not from one parent to another parent, right? Parents don't need forms to give their children to one another. But if you're giving your child for an extended period of time to anyone other than the other parent, it doesn't matter. It can be your mom, it can be your dad, it can be your sister, your brother, the child's godparents, your neighbors, whoever that you're leaving the child with for an extended period of time, and you want to give them the right to make decisions during that period of time, you can use this form, okay? And this is not legal advice. I want to address some things that concern me greatly about the situation. And this goes for anyone who's watching this. If you have a need related to your child, please do not be embarrassed to vocalize that need. Specifically, I think we live in a world where we have access to so many people. Getting online begging for money is not going to work. It's not going to do it. If you need your light bill paid, say I need my light bill paid. I can DM you my account number. Say we need some groceries. I can pick them up. You can have them delivered here, whatever. Whatever it is that your children need, please be vocal and specific about that need. Someone, if they can't provide it, they might link you with a resource that can. There's an overarching need for help, primarily in the physical sense. People need help. Moms need help. Dads need help. And I'm going to go against the grain when I say this. This ideology, this society that we've created that's so individualistic, so selfish, and this idea that everyone's dangerous and I can't trust anyone. Now look what happened. Look what has happened. We can go around saying we can't trust anyone with our kids, and now we've potentially lost hundreds of kids to the system. I'm saying this with love, y'all. Trust somebody. Trust somebody. If it's for a couple hours while you study, if it's for a few hours while you get some sleep, trust somebody. Okay? Family and friends are not always going to be there. They're not always reliable. They're not always going to be willing. They're not always going to be capable. We got to get out of this mindset that it's us against the world, because we're losing. The world is winning. The world is winning. And this should not be happening. This should not be happening. And I wish I would have saw this sooner. This should not be happening. Trust somebody. If you need it, I promise you we understand. And as always, I hope this helps.
Okay, so did y'all see the mother that dropped her 2 children off at foster care? Well, she tried to drop her children off at the fire station. Her son, I believe, was 11, and then her daughter, I believe, was 3 years old. And she said she was tired, she can't do it. You know, like, the father didn't want to help. So the eldest one, I saw a clip from one of her lives. She said that his father passed away, but her baby girl, the father just, you know, she was like, oh, I want to level my life up. She says she's going to school and she's working on 2 degrees and she's working. But then I saw people saying that she was chasing behind a rapper. My whole thing is, my opinion might be unpopular, right? I am never one for putting kids in the system, because the system does not do the right thing all the time. A lot of children are misused and abused while in foster care. Let's just start there. 2, why does she have more than 1 kid if she's having such a hard time? You think she didn't know that she wasn't able to do it when she had her first kid? And this is my thing, right? I don't have children. I feel like women need to take accountability when it comes to having more than 1 child and struggling. Why would you bring multiple kids into this world if you are struggling with 1? She didn't just start struggling when she had her 3-year-old. She said she didn't even want to be a mother. She said, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. Anybody can take them. Then she was contradicting herself, saying, oh, well, I got to know you if you want to foster them. Ma'am, when you send your children to CPS, you don't know where they're going to end up. And I just pray for those babies. I pray that God covers those babies, because the 11-year-old is old enough to know what's going on, and he's going to absolutely resent his mother. And once again, I pray nothing bad happens to them. But don't have children, 1, if you really don't want to be a mother, especially not to keep a man. Always be prepared to sign up to be a single mother, even if you're married, because there's married single mothers out there. That's why if I ever have a kid, it will solely be because I actually want to be a mother. It will never be because of a man. Point blank, period. It don't matter if you're married or whatever y'all just get a ring. That does not exempt you from possibly having to go at it alone. 2, do not take your stupid head ass and have 2, more than 1, if you're struggling already. I don't respect it. Why do women have multiple kids if they can't even hardly handle 1? I don't respect that. If you don't want to be a mother, why on God's green earth would you have multiple kids? That is very, very selfish. It's very selfish to have kids, period, knowing that that's not something that you really want to do. Check yourself, okay? And I just pray for those babies, because the type of, once again, neglect and abuse that kids experience, because those kids grow up to be adults and we hear them talk about the horror stories that they experience being in child protective care. So we just got to pray for the kids, and hopefully she gets her mind right and go back and get her babies. And I hope it's not for no nigga.
Right, we're talking about Amorali that gave up her kids to CPS willingly, saying that she cannot be a mother anymore. Okay, what is your take? Do you think it's best for her to have given the child up, those children up for CPS, or she should have just tried to, pass through this stage of her life? What do you think? Okay, for me, I feel like she giving up those children is the best. It's actually the best for her, because you see mothers unaliving their children because of depression. You see mothers unaliving themselves because of depression. And when a mother unalive herself, automatically those children, when there's no family to take care of those children, they come to take them. So if she has thought about it, if she has sat down and be like, okay, you know what, I'm done. She has looked left and right and she felt like that is the best for her and her children, so be it. But then I personally pity those children because, especially the 11-year-old, that is wise already. He's seeing those things on the internet. Is going to be there. I just wonder how he's going to feel later on, seeing that his mom was like, I do not want you, I don't want to be with you. It's gonna be a trauma for him. And this is not to judge her or whatever, but then this is just like a wake-up call. When people say don't have children until you're ready, it looks as if you are saying something different. When you see people that they cannot even take care of themselves alone and they're saying they want to have children, and you tell them that, why do you really want to have this child? Can you just hold on and don't have this child? It feels like you're enemy of progress. It feels like you're an evil person sent from their village because they see you as a negative person when you tell women, don't have kids if you're not ready. Don't have kids because of a man. Don't have kids because of society. Don't have kids because you feel like you can produce children. Then you feel like you should just produce. Have kids because you really want it as a person, as an individual, because when you look left and right and there's nobody there for you, you know that this thing you want it for yourself, you will hold on to it. But because you're having it for a particular people, you're having it because of society, you're having it because of love, at the end of the day, when those things are no longer there, it feels like a punishment. It feels like you're having those children, seeing those children pisses you off. In fact, as I said, I've read news of mothers unaliving their children because of depression, postpartum depression. It happens. When you think that the old thing you were seeing before you got pregnant, you don't see them anymore. The village that you thought you had, you can't even see them anymore. It changes everything. Before having children, always talk to yourself. Try to be very careful who you have kids with. And then when you have one, when you try to even have one and you realize that, okay, I cannot do this, why have another one? Why try again? Why? You see people having 4 children, they can't even take care of one. They're not even available for one, and they're having 3, they're having 4. They can't even take care of themselves. They're not even well organized. They're not even well put together as a person, but they have 3 children. They have 4 children. In fact, you see some of them are even pregnant again. You see some women, sometimes I see some women, some women that have like 3 children, 2 children are pregnant again. I'm like, to me, I feel like it's a mistake. And some of them are like, no, they want it. That's what they want. I'm like, okay. I'll just keep quiet because these are the results of you having these things because of a certain thing, especially things that will go away, things you don't have control over, which is a man. Having kids to secure a man, having kids because a man proposed to you, or because you're married to a man, or because you feel like that people are pressuring me so much, I need to have kids. She's young and she'll be like, okay, maybe she's thinking, oh, I'll soon be 30, let me have all my children at once. Or seeing your friends having kids and you feel like that is the best thing for you at that moment. At the end of the day, when you look left and right and you don't even have money, you don't have financial, you're not mentally stable to take care of one child, and now you have like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, How do you cope? This is what you're going to do. Give them up. And it's so painful. I know that she's going to be able to do whatever she wants to do. It's fine for her. I'm not judging her. I'm not judging her. I feel like it's actually best for her to give the child up, to be honest, because if those children were with her, she would have hated herself and she might unalive herself or those children. She would have hurt those children even more. So let them just go. It's better. That's my own. It's better she's like that. But I just hope that she going out there to be who she is, she's not going to open Alex again and do it all over again. That is what I would not like. That is where I would judge her. Okay? That is where I would judge her. To be honest, some women, when they just see the opportunity to explore again and they choose, she might come out and say, I want to have one more child. They say it, they do it. I'm not surprised. They do it. Anyways, what is your take on this whole drama? Are you a mom? Have you struggled to a point that you want to give out your children to CPS? Has it occurred to you that you just want to throw your children away to government? Let me know that in the comment section. Do you think the decision she made was right, or do you think it was wrong for her? And how do you think those children will be feeling? What is your take generally? What is your take generally on this conversation? I really love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. It is your girl, Maria Davis, and thank you all so much for tuning in today. And don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Turn on the post notification bell to get notified when I upload another interesting video like this one. And of course, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.